There it goes. All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy that you are joining me today, and I am so super excited about our guest. My phone is playing in the background. I apologize for that. Um, my guest today is someone that I met just a couple of years ago. And well, no, I guess it wasn't even a couple of years ago. I guess it was
Couple of months.
earlier this year. Yeah. Um, but I met Zach. I grew up watching basketball and being involved in basketball programs. My parents ran a basketball program for over 25 years, and so I was there were weeks in my life where I watched 130 basketball games in a week, middle school and grade school, but it's still that's a lot of basketball in one week.
Mhm.
And growing up, my brother played, my nephew played, my daughter played for a few years, and then they all were out of school. And a few years ago, a friend of mine's daughter was playing for the women's team. And so I went up to watch, and then I hung around for the men's basketball team, and I was hooked. The GU Panthers play something called the system. It is extremely fast paced, and it's just very entertaining to watch, in my opinion. I was lucky enough last year to be there when they scored 200 points in a game. And that was crazy, exciting, and just crazy in general. And then this year, when I was back watching, I saw this young man out on the floor and immediately felt like I needed to get to know him, because I truly believe that Zach lives my hashtag no limits philosophy. So Zach, welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell me and our audience a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Zach Nabers. I'm 20. I'm from South Georgia, and I play basketball at Greenville University.
And you have one sibling or more than one?
I have one sibling.
Okay, and that's a brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, Zach is from Georgia. I'm in Illinois, and we were just before the live started talking about the heat, and they have a lot more heat than we do, and they can have it because I don't like the heat. So, so Zach, tell me how long you've been playing basketball.
I've been playing basketball all my life, but I didn't really start taking it serious until after my accident. I always loved playing it, but I wanted to be a football player before my accident, but
Okay.
it all switched.
Right. So you led right into my next question. Can you tell us about your accident?
I was in a boating accident when I was about 12, I think going on 13. And basically what happened was we were going fishing one afternoon, and I was helping my grandma's husband put the boat in the dock, and or put the boat in the water, I mean, and I was holding the boat up against the dock with a rope, and I had it wrapped around my wrist. And whenever he went to pull the boat up out of the water to like park the trailer, park the boat, the rope that I was holding around my wrist and that was attached to the boat got caught on the guiding pole on the trailer, the two poles that stand on the top of the trailer, and it pulled me in the boat about 30 or 40 yards. And uh, the rope basically cut all my circulation off, and I ended up having to have an amputation.
Goodness. So when I talked to you about this before, you said that it had damaged like your whole arm, and you were basically given the choice of either keeping your whole arm, but it just being, I think you called it a dead arm because all the nerves and stuff would be dead,
Yeah.
or having to do the amputation. Is that right?
Yeah, so like I had like certain like I'm not a doctor or anything,
Right.
but I had like things messed up in my arm that that was caused by me being pulled and like basically like flopping around and twisting. So it basically messed up like the nerves and everything like you were saying, and I was given the choice of we can amputate it, and you would just you'll have to learn to do everything, or have a dead arm, and it would just it would be no use to you.
And so you said you were around the age of 12. Did your family leave that decision up to you, or was it sort of a family decision as to whether or not to amputate?
Well, the doctors told me it had to be my decision ultimately because it's my hand doing the removing, I guess.
Right.
But
Sure.
um, but they my family did help with the decision. I had lost my train of thought. My family did help with the decision. It was just, but they left it on me to have my own decision to where I wouldn't have any like regrets or anything. So I'm I'm ultimately happy about the decision. I believe everything happens for a reason.
Okay. That's just a lot of I mean, that's a super heavy decision for a 13, 12-year old, however old you were at the time, to make. So kudos to you for being able to make that decision, and I'm glad that you don't have regrets. That was actually going to be a question I was going to ask, so
Mhm.
you took care of that for me. So how long was your recovery, and since you amputated, did that sort of automatically get the nerves and everything activating, or did you have therapies you had to go through?
I did. I ended up. I want to start this to where like it all just flows into everything. So, um, well, after my surgery, they told me I could stay in the hospital. I think another week. This is all kind of blurry because
Oh, I'm
I was
sure.
doing the talking and everything, but they basically gave me the option I could stay in for like a week and they could help me to recovery. But I had ended up telling them it's actually a funny story. My mom can tell you. They brought in a nurse brought in like a it was like a scale, and it had like a frowny face and like a smiley face at the very end, and they were like tell us how you feel, like are you a 1, are you a 10, are you whatever, and I just stopped and I was like, to be honest, I don't need any of this. I'm fine.
Wow.
I'm good with my decision. And so I left I ended up leaving the hospital, and I did physical therapy for a while just to learn how to do certain things. And but I don't that it wasn't very long.
That's incredible to me. I mean, that just I'm also not a medical person, so it just seems like there would have been more to it than that. But
Mhm.
I'm glad that it was fairly simple. It sounds like. I mean, I know there was more technical things that happened, but um, I'm glad that it didn't take a long time for you to recover. So that's your right arm that happened on, right?
Yes.
And you are left-handed and always have been.
Hmm.
So I'm guessing in those therapies, that's what helped you, kind of get used to only having the upper limb on the right hand, right arm. And then did you have to learn how to do anything that you had already known how to do? Or was it because you were left-handed, you pretty much didn't have that much to learn?
Well, during this time, my mom was like, she was looking for options for me for like prosthetics and like where I could learn how to do certain stuff, and that's how I have, Laura. That's how we figured out about navigability, which I know you'll probably cover later. But um, so we did the whole like prosthetic route, but it was just never something it felt like it was like restricting me. I was never really completely comfortable with it. I tried it out for a while, like probably like the first year after my accident, but it just seemed like everything was easier. Just adapting with one hand.
So as you were recovering, did you ever, and as you were getting used to all of your life the way it was after the accident, who or what was your inspiration to keep going, and why did you keep going?
Um, I really don't. I have a few answers. Obviously, my family, um, and I just believe it happened for a reason. It happened to me. because I was meant to be able to handle this situation. I don't really know because I've talked to people that have one hand that are a different limb situation that they're missing, and it's not the same story. But I just think it was it's just
Okay.
how I am. I just but I would definitely say like my family, they helped me, and just wanting to the the want and the desire to feel normal, I would say. So as
Hmm.
a kid, that's what you want to do. You want to everybody wants to fit in, everybody wants to be the popular kid. So me wanting to be the person I was before my accident, I feel like pushed me to accomplish the things that I could do with two hands, like play basketball, play video games, tie my shoes, stuff like that. So
Okay.
it's just the way.
You attend a Christian college, and I know that you don't have to be a Christian to attend there. So I was just wondering if there was, a higher power, because you say that you believe everything happens for a reason. So was your faith in any way part of what motivated you, or is it just that everything happens for a reason and that's
My faith, yeah, I am a Christian, so that belief comes from me believing in God, me believing that I He put this challenge in front of me for me to accomplish. I truly do believe I have a bigger purpose.
I think so too. Um, so yes, tell us about the camp that you found in Illinois and how you found it, being from Georgia.
So like I was saying before, like when my mom was she was going through the transition of trying to find things where I could learn to do new things and learn to be a kid again. She stumbled across Nubability in DuQuoin, Illinois, and it's a sports camp where they teach limb different kids the desired sport they want to play. So if I wanted to play golf, they would have a one-handed, or so I have one hand. So if I wanted to play golf, they would have a one-handed coach out there to teach me how they learned how to do it. Same with basketball, same with baseball, soccer, football, swimming, wrestling. They have every sport, weightlifting.
That's incredible. And they do that also if there's someone who has, I presume, zero arms or one leg or zero legs.
Hmm. There's a there's a coach for every camper, really.
That is amazing. And now I think you told me when I spoke to you in the spring that you are there. You went as a camper,
Hmm.
but now you go back. Is that correct? As a leader or a coach?
So I started as a coach or a camper, and I think I went for about 2 or 3 years until I was old enough. And whenever I was old enough, I became kind of like a helper. When I was 16, I became like a helper, not really a coach, just helping kids as much as I could and not really taking the lead on anything. But now that I'm older, I've returned every year since then to help out as much as I can.
That's awesome. So were they able to hold that camp this year with everything going on?
They weren't, they
Hmm,
weren't able to hold it.
that's sad. Well, hopefully everything's back to being able to be face to face, and they'll be able to start that up and have that camp again next summer. And so that brought you to Illinois. And so, how did you find out about Greenville University?
I found out about Greenville through Sam Cooner, the leader of, or the founder of Nubability. And so I was at Valdosta State my freshman year of college, and I was redshirted and I wasn't playing. And so whenever I decided that I was going to transfer, I was looking for teams. I was looking like, where am I going to go? I just want to play basketball. And I reached out to Sam, and him being in the position where he is, he has a lot of connections to people in high places. I guess you would say, and he just had ended up he went to Greenville and played baseball there, and so he knew Coach Barber. He knew the program, and I ended up getting in contact with Coach Barber. I sent him my film, and the rest is history. I ended up coming on a visit, and I loved the place, so we're back.
That's awesome. So I'm going to put up a few pictures and a couple of videos of you playing. So I can't tell you which team this was that you played against, but thankfully it was a winning game. And we've got a score of a 161 to 131. In your experience, has that been pretty typical of the scores in your games?
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought, because that's what they've been when I've been. Can you see this picture now? And can you see that I changed the picture?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see what's going on in this picture?
That's after the game. After every game, we circle up, and we usually thank the fans, and we say a prayer.
Okay. And let's see. So that's just another shot of that. Uh-oh. Keep going. Oh, no. Where'd the rest of my pictures go? Okay, maybe I'm going the wrong way. Maybe I have to go this way. All right. This one looks like it wants to be a video, hopefully. Okay, there. So, again, I don't know who you're playing, but here you are right here. So number 32, for those of you who are watching. And so you can kind of see that this is, I think, a fairly fast-paced game. Can you kind of tell us what the requirements are when you're playing?
We want to get a shot usually in the first 11 seconds of our possession, and
Okay.
during the game we have like certain goals that we want to reach, which we set for every goal, which would be like shoot 24 or 25 more shots than an opponent, a certain amount of threes, offensive rebounding, and I believe steals. Yeah, turnovers, steals.
Okay. So for anybody who is a diehard basketball fan, I know sometimes they don't always think that this is, that you guys have plays, is what I've been told. But I mean, you just kind of said it. You try to take more shots, you try to get more turnovers, take more threes. And at the beginning of this, we saw you make your three. So let's see. I'm trying to see. So that was that video. So when you joined the team, was there any sort of what was the response from everybody on the team, from the faculty, to other students?
I feel like it's been very welcoming. I've always had, especially with the team, I've felt like I've always had an equal opportunity to be successful. It's just depending on how I perform and how I work. The fans they've been great. I haven't had any problems with any students, any really adjusting. It's been very welcoming, I would say. I've been happy.
Good. And from an outsider's perspective, watching the games, it seems that all the players really, yes, they care about winning, but they care about each other too. You seem like you're a type of family. Would you agree to that?
I would. I mean, you battle all preseason, all season, and then postseason. You build a brotherhood, of a bond that it's unbreakable. I mean, those guys in that locker room they'll probably be some of my best friends until I grow up, or not grow up, and while I'm grown up, and until that day that I'm old comes.
Right. So tell me about this scene. What's happening here?
That's like before tip off. We always circle up and do the whole step, and Riley does a backflip. But I don't know who's gonna do the backflip this year. Riley's not returning. He graduated.
He graduated.
It won't be me in the circle. I know that.
You're not a backflip kind of person, huh?
Uh-uh.
No. All right. So that's you. So how often, that was you coming off the floor. How often do you switch out playing and being on the bench?
They try to sub every minute if possible, but with how basketball goes, like you can't always get a dead ball or a point where the game can stop. So if it goes too long, we might call a timeout, but not really. You just wait for the next dead ball.
Right. So can you tell me, like, what do you do? I mean, because this is very fast paced. I mean, you've been up and down the floor multiple times in the videos that I've shown. Do you have an average? Do you have any idea how many times you're up and down the floor in a game?
No, I really don't know. That'd be something to see, because I know that it's just down and back, down and back.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So I'm just going to show, I think I've got maybe one more video. Nope, just I think another scoreboard. So again, we got a 131 to 125.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was the first game that I saw you in, because you had the orange uniforms instead of the white ones, and it kind of threw me off. But so I'm going to stop sharing my screen and go back to whoops, maybe I will. What's going on here? There we go. Okay. So I think, I've pretty much covered most of the topics that I wanted to talk to you about today. Is there something that you would want to tell someone who finds themselves in a situation similar to yours, where you started off with thinking that everything was normal or like everybody else's, and then at some point in your life, either something happens or you get a diagnosis that you aren't like everybody else? What would you say to that person or that kid?
I would say, well, I have two things I would really say. The first would be really assess your situation. I think what helped me is whenever I went to go get my prosthetics, like fitted and do everything, we went to Washington D.C. at the big hospital there, and just seeing 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, how really young, missing one limb, two limbs, three limbs, four limbs, just knowing that whatever you're going through, it could always be worse. It's not the sun will come up tomorrow. It will be a new day. Just keep pushing, and the next would be to believe in yourself, because at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody's going to believe in you. Just
Right. Absolutely. I agree. So my hashtag, like I said, my philosophy at the beginning of this is no limits. And I come up with that because oftentimes people who see someone like yourself, or see someone who has a cognitive disability, will assume that person can only do so much. And so my hashtag no limits is that we have to stop doing that. Stop making that assumption. Stop looking at someone's outer shell and assuming we know anything about that person later on down the road. And I think you are a great example of that, because you could have, after your boating accident, sat and wallowed and listened to anybody who might have said, oh, your life like you knew it is over, or, nothing's going to be the same for you anymore. And so to me, you epitomize that, and you are an inspiration to me. And I hope that this is on YouTube and this will be on Facebook, that you, as well as what you do at the camp and playing basketball, that you do have something greater in store for your life, and that you will be an inspiration to many, many others. Again, I want to say thank you for joining me today. For anyone who is watching this, either with us right now or in a replay version, if if you want to go see Zach play, or if you live far away and you can't go see him play, they stream the games, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So just look up Greenville University Panthers men's basketball, and you can either hopefully attend in person this year. I'm really hoping. I didn't get to go to as many games last year as I wanted to, and so I'm really hoping that you guys are back in season and able to play and able to have fans in attendance. Or if you can't go in person, like I said, you can go ahead and stream it. So I am Shelly Kino. I am education consultant and master IEP coach. I work with families who have a child that has unique needs, and I continue helping them through their education process, which I don't believe, Zach, you probably ever had an IEP. Or did you?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I didn't think so. I thought it was the limb and that your academics were fine, and it was, just the physical therapy that you had to go through. So thank you, everybody. And we're changing the world one IEP at a time, one person at a time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.